Barriers. A set of railroad tracks and a river. That is what physically divides my side of town from yours. Underneath the surface, the divide runs so much deeper. My role in this story began in 1999. Imagine me, a 5-year-old girl, walking into a new elementary school, lunchbox and crayons in tow. I had no idea that my love for my school would be crushed as I grew older. High ability, that's what they said I was in 2nd grade. Your child would have so many more opportunities if she would just bus to our school. The teachers and students would be more like her. I was 8, and one of my former principals was now trying to categorize me as something I wasn't sure that I wanted to be. My parents considered sending me to this better school with kids like me, whatever that meant. But ultimately I stayed right where I started, where I feel I belonged. This moment was the first time I realized a divide ran deep. There was us, and there was them. Fast forward 7 years to 2008. I'm entering high school. My school colors were red and black, and we were labeled the Rebels. Literally, that was our mascot. It was like we were already categorized as an unruly bunch that breaks any rule possible. Headline after headline. Whisper after whisper. It was never actually stated, but rather insinuated. My school was the city's underdog, red-headed stepchild, and whatever else you could think to call us. The divide began to seep deeper into my bones. I found myself with an immense sense of pride in my school, my side of town, on the outside. But it was becoming a dangerous identity crisis. Inside, as I approached college application and scholarship deadlines, I began questioning my ability. Was I as good as those kids? Could I compete with them? Were they truly better like the community members and even the teachers implied? It was a series of questions unanswered until I left the school system for college. I was unaware, but I was still carrying the stigma around with me in my thoughts, actions, and academic performance. My grades were fine, but my confidence and self-worth was not. Imagine a college freshman in a special class with the dean of an honors college and 25 other hand-picked students. Sure, I was hand-picked as well, but could I really compete with them? I found myself not answering questions, not jumping into discussions, and generally trying to fly under the radar. I was scared. Could I survive as a big fish in an even bigger pond? My professor held me after class about 3 weeks in and asked why I was reluctant to speak up. I told him I didn't quite know why, and he told me something that I had actually never heard from someone outside of my side of town. You are just as smart and capable as everyone else in this room. We knew where you came from when we selected you. I stood open-mouthed, not saying a word. My attitude and perspective began to change. I felt like I could do these things. I could rise above. Upon graduation, I was presented with several opportunities to leave Muncie and my side of town. In one particular interview situation, an interviewer checked my resume and actually said out loud to me, "I think you will like it here because it's a lot different than the place where you came from. Our students aren't like that." That is when I realized where I belonged. Railroad tracks, rivers, and opinions of others don't really matter. Barriers exist still, both physical and mental. Handling those barriers as challenges rather than excuses makes all of the difference, and that is why I try to teach my students every day at Southside Middle School.